Hey folks, this is Jake here at Canadian Cutting Edge, and today we're taking a look at this knife. This knife was sent to us by one of our viewers. Terry C. from North Carolina sent this to me a while ago. I did the unboxing video, and finally getting around to the review video. This is a mini trapper style knife, 2 blades, a spay point blade, and a nice clip point blade, almost not small enough to be a pen type blade, slip joint. And this has VG10 steel. Rough Ryder is the brand. Rough Ryder generally uses lower end steels, but this guy, VG10. And once I'm done with this video, I'm going to send this knife on to Lee over at Love Them Knives so that he can have it tested and verified of the steel type and the hardness. Not that I doubt Rough Ryder. I've had a number of their knives and they're good, low budget knife. It just surprises me that they would use VG10. And so, I want to check that out or have it checked out. And so if you're interested in a knife like this, a little pocket knife with a couple different style blades, nail nick slip joint. This is a mini trapper style knife, if I hadn't said that yet. So if you're interested, stick around. The full review's coming right now. This is a smaller size knife, but sure, I'll do the size comparison with the Ontario Rat. Yeah, it's definitely a small little knife. Like I said, we've got this clip point or buoy style blade. There's that nail nick, and they put little, they milled it with tiny little bumps in it. It actually does help give it a little bit extra grip in there. Hollow grind, and hollow grind on the spay point blade as well. So that's the spay point style blade right there. We've got a tiny little sharpener's choil on both of them, big enough to be adequate and functional, and aluminum handle scales. They are blue aluminum here, and then this is, I think, black, some kind of coating that they've sprayed onto. I'm not just going to call it paint. I'm not sure exactly what kind it is, but that's on there. And then we've got T6 screws on here. Slip joint knives, I generally don't take them apart unless I have to, because it can be tricky to put them back together, because when the knife is closed and when the knife is open, both times this back spring back here, this metal is under tension. And if you've got that metal under tension, it's really hard to line up all the different spots that you need to line up when you want to screw it together. But I will take one of the sides off just to see what I can see. So here it is taken apart. You just have the 4 screws, T6, and then you've got, the aluminum. So if you're not fond of these colors, hey, take it off. You can easily put a different color on here. So clearly this was blue anodized, and then they put a black coating paint of some kind on there. So you could sand that down a little bit and change whatever color you want, or use this as a template and put on some, exotic wood handle scales that you can make yourself. And there you go. You've got lots of options, because VG10 is very uncommon at this price point for this style of knife. The knife is model RR2101. I found it in a lot of different stores in the United States online. I couldn't find it anywhere else in Europe or Australia or anything. I just couldn't find it anywhere else. So first off, let's talk about the value of this knife. This knife is at Chicago Knife Works. It sells for $18.74 at A to Z Knives. I would call it A to Z Knives in Canada, but it is an American store, so we'll call it A to Z Knives, $19.49. Smoky Mountain Knife Works sells it for $19.99. All of those places will also charge you shipping. You can get it at Amazon.com for $24.69 with free shipping. So you decide where you want to buy it. If you do use my Amazon link down below, I do get a tiny bit of a commission. So if that is something you want to do, good. Actually, whenever you shop at Amazon, if you use one of my links to start your process of opening up the Amazon webpage, I'm going to get a tiny bit of a referral fee of no matter what you buy. Of course, I'll never find out what you buy. I just get that little bit of money from Amazon. So if you use Amazon, what you could do, if you want to go to the extra effort, and I'm not expecting it, just giving you information, if you copied one of my links and just put it on your desktop, and whenever you want to go to Amazon, click on that link instead of typing in amazon.com or amazon.ca or amazon.co.uk or amazon.de, then it would help out this channel a little bit. Every little bit helps. So let's talk about first the clip point blade. We're going to give the dimensions and sizes and all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to give all the dimensions, and then I'll come back and talk about this blade just a little bit. The weight of this knife altogether, 70 grams, 2.45 ounces. The factory sharpness of the clip point was 190, and the factory sharpness on the spade point blade was 240. 200 and less is considered sharp. So yeah, they're Rough Ryder knives. They just don't come super sharp from the factory, but I'm totally fine with that because I can sharpen this knife myself, and hopefully you can sharpen your knives yourself as well. It's more important the actual, how well they milled the blade, how well they did the bevel. Those things are way more important than the actual cutting edge, because the cutting edge, you can fix it at home easily, or you should be able to. And if you aren't able to, then that's one thing that you might put on your list of things to do to learn how to sharpen well. I've got a bunch of sharpener videos that you can look at if you want to buy yourself a sharpening system. So that's those things. Now on to the length of the blade. The cutting edge on this one is actually the cutting edge on both of them. They're pretty much the same. 6.14 centimeters, 2.42 inches. Blade length is about the same because the ricasso is the same size on both of them. 7.11 centimeters, 2.8 inches. The blade thickness, and again, they're both the same, 2.33 millimeters. That's 0.0915, so 91.5 thousandths of an inch thick. Length to blade depth, that's this dimension. This one is 1.2 centimeters. That's 0.47 of an inch. This one, the widest point is up here. That's 1.1 centimeters, 0.44. So this one's a little bit smaller this way, but this one's got the clip point removed there. Oops, I nicked my finger just a little bit there. I've got some thin skin here from this old scar that I got when I was I think about 22. I got a scar right there. I cut my finger quite badly, and the skin's thin, and so it can tear through really easily. There we go, behind the grind. Behind the grind on this knife, 0.58 millimeters, which is 23 thousandths. This one is 0.66 millimeters, which is 26 thousandths of an inch thick, right behind the grind. The grind angle on this guy, 20.6 and 26.8. This guy's 18.5 and 26.7 degrees. So again, the grind angles aren't that great. When I go to sharpen it, when I get it back, if this is VG10 like it says it is, and I have no reason to doubt it, I'd probably sharpen it to about 18 degrees per side. And let's go on to the next thing, the handle now. Let's close this right up. The handle length is, I can't quite read my notes. I think it's 8.68 centimeters, which is 3.5 inches. The grip area, and that's, between my thumbs, the flat area is right here. The grip area here is about 8.2 centimeters, 3.23 inches. The handle thickness is 1.27 centimeters, almost exactly half an inch. The handle depth is 1.6 centimeters, that's 0.63 of an inch. And when the knife is closed, the depth is 1.9 centimeters, 0.75 of an inch. The total length of this knife when it's open is 16 centimeters. And how long is 16 centimeters in inches? Well, let's do this and find out. Yeah, 6 5/16, a little bit over 6 1/4 inches, just a tiny bit over 6 1/4. One of my first knives as a child was a mini trapper of about this size. Of course, it had wooden handles with brass or nickel bolsters and stuff. I believe. I don't remember. I don't have it anymore. Haven't had it for quite a while. But it was roughly this size, and it's a good size pocket knife. The look of the knife is quite good. They've done a good job with the workmanship. It's nice and clean inside. There's a little bit of overspray here when they sprayed the black, but it's not bad at all. Yeah, it's more so on this side right here. Not a big deal. The blades are well ground, like the hollow grind of it is well ground. I like that they put in sharpness toils. And yeah, it's a good, nice, light pocket knife. I like aluminum. It's got a good look to it. It's got just a little bit of a grip to it, a little bit of texture to this coating, whatever they put on. This aluminum here where it's blue is a little bit smoother. There's just a little bit of grip. This might be some kind of thin rubberized paint or something. I'm not sure, but very, very thin. Not major grip, but it does offer a bit of grip. So I like that quite a lot. There's a good, I'm going to close one of these just so that you can watch this. It's got a good amount of pressure that holds it closed. So it does take a bit of power, a fair bit of power to open it. And when it is in the open position, it takes a fair bit of power to push on it to cause it to get up to the half stop. So both of them have a half stop, and they've got a good spring retention. This is the back spring right here. You can see it sticking out just a little ways there now. Let's get to focus up here. There you can see that spring sticking out a little bit, and when it's open all the way, that spring's gone. So you have to push that spring out of the way to close it, and then the half stop, and then when it's all the way closed, the spring comes back down. It's a good knife, especially for the price. If you're looking for a pocket knife like this, or somebody who likes older style knives, this is a very good buy. I'd rather spend 20 bucks on a knife like this with VG10 than spending 10 bucks on a knife like this with 3CR13, which is very common. A very common steel on these little older style knives. The clip point blade, this is really good for doing all kinds of minor tasks, delicate work at the tip, piercing things. It's just very, very good for that. And this guy, the spay point blade, this is sort of a bit of a safety tip. A spay point blade was designed so that they would use this knife, to castrate sheep, whatever, critters. And you don't want to be puncturing things when you're spaying them. You just want to slice at certain spots. And that's why they make the tip the way they do. I think I've never castrated any animal, so I don't know for sure. That's my understanding of why it's designed the way it is. So this one, you don't have a tip for piercing, but you got a nice long cutting edge for cutting into things. It's a good knife. It's pretty good size. This would function for, most, like if you have it with your lunch kit, if you like to cut apart your apple and stuff, this is a good size. And of course, they make full-size trappers as well. Rough Rider knives are on other websites, like in Europe and stuff on Amazon, but this exact model I could only find in the United States. What do you think of this knife? Thank you so much for watching my video. Thanks for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. And remember, friends, always cut towards your chum, not your thumb. Bye for now.